Your American hero, G.I. Joe is there.
Hey, welcome to Half the Battle.
Today we're finishing our look at Captives of Cobra as we go through Part 2. In Part 1, a Cobra science experiment had gone wrong, causing an explosion that created growing crystals that could explode themselves when disturbed.
So the Joes disturbed them.
Well, they cut them up to be safely destroyed anyway. Also, there was a boulder that threatened the city below.
But guess what?
That boulder, never mentioned again in Part 2, so I guess it just settled there. Meanwhile, Cobra wanted those crystals, so the Baroness proposed capturing some relatives of the Joes. Which they promptly did, and they used the not-at-all brainwave scanner from the comic to brainwash them. The Baroness then sent the captives to engage G.I. Joe, and Part 1 ended with them charging at the Joes, who were all conveniently the ones related to them.
We start Part 2 with a retcon.
Yeah, notice how they're just standing there, not advancing on their targets? I guess the end of Part 1 just didn't happen.
They certainly won't hurt us.
Wrong. Okay, to be fair, Dr. Not Venom did have to increase the power to get them to act. And I see they've learned to aim as well as actual Cobra troopers.
Actually, let's put a pin in that.
The Joes retreat in that transport that looks like it was made by the Fisher-Price Company as Baby's first army vehicle. And I think I see a small flaw in Cobra's plan.
Captives! After them!
They are on foot. The Joes are in vehicles. How the hell are they supposed to catch up? The Joes are gonna use knockout gas, and I think I see a small flaw in their plan.
What kind of sound effect was that?
It didn't work! Those suits are gas-proof!
Yeah, it was kind of obvious those suits are there to protect them. They tried to lead them away, but the captives followed the truck, which has conveniently become stuck. Yeah, well, how else were they gonna catch up with them? But uh-oh, they get unstuck, so the brisk walk isn't gonna cut it. Plan B for stopping the captives involves Wild Bill capturing them with a net. And this works. Good. Now take their guns and put them in cuffs. Why aren't you taking their guns? Or you can pack them in like sardines and fly them away. That works too, I guess. The Baroness, however, has an ace up her sleeve.
Activate the battle suits.
Some kind of energy destroying the net!
So, these are very useful suits. Immune to gas, can electrocute anybody in hand-to-hand combat.
So, quick question. Why don't the regular Cobra troops get these?
So they all plunge into the water below, and wouldn't you know it?
The suits protected.
Yeah, if I was a Cobra trooper seeing this, I'd be a bit upset. Where the hell is my suit? So they're safe, but not moving. The doctor explains that because of the high setting, they have lost the ability to think creatively, so the Baroness will have to give them orders to do anything.
Huh, remember that pin?
Your weapons! Use them! Now!
Yeah, they couldn't hit Scarlet at point-blank range. But I say they were ordered to attack. They were not specifically ordered to shoot the Joes, so they didn't. Or it could have been their subconscious, making them follow the letter but not the spirit of the orders. Cobra sends out a moray to recapture them with another net. Okay, the net on the moray is a little more believable, since, you know, boats, fishing boats, but still. Those poor captives, if they could still think freely, they would have felt like fish by now. Also, Guy runs in, immediately launches the moray, not even bothering to open the doors, yet somehow he has time to change into his Crimson Guard uniform. Scarlet figures they must be mind-controlled by a nearby base, so they go looking for it.
Cobra could have the entire mountain filled with hidden bases.
Filled with hidden bases? I hope that was a script error and she meant to say hidden traps or something. Meanwhile, the captives have caught up with the transport again. It's okay this time, they got a ride. On a boat that's on the water, way below that. You know what, forget it. Superman flew them there, whatever. Back with the A-plot. They're both equally important, I guess. But yeah, let's call this the A-plot. They have found the base and make short work of the defenses. At the same time, Dusty and Footloose have arrived and are creating a dust cloud to confuse the captives.
Shoot at their tires!
See, that proves my point. They can aim straight if given the literal order to do so. They then start shooting at the door that has the crystals behind them.
Seems like a really bad idea to me.
The others enter the base and overpower the scientist pretty easily, but he tells them he can't turn off the machine as it would destroy the captives' minds. Then this happens.
Yay!
There were freaking 6 of you and you all got distracted, so the guy just gets away.
Worst elite team ever.
Also, from a writing point of view, this doesn't make any sense. This guy is not a main villain. In fact, I'm pretty sure he never shows up again, so why not let him be captured? Back at the ranch, they have melted the door and the Baroness has ordered Jesse, that shipwreck's nephew, to pick up a rock and threaten to hit the crystals, which would blow everybody up. I was gonna complain that they have guns, so they could just aim those at the crystals, but this is actually a lot more evil and fear-inducing to have a kid be forced to kill everybody.
I'm amazed they got away with that scene, really.
With that, they just have to hope the science guy was bluffing, as they have no choice but to destroy the machine. Fortunately, this works and they all come out of it. And I have to point out, those discs on their heads were way bigger in part 1.
And so the day is saved.
Except it isn't, because the Baroness is a sore loser, so she sends out rattlers to attack the Joes. By the way, she's been nearby in that helicarrier thing this whole episode. Some of the civilians joined the Joes in the fight. And it's a shame Cobra didn't send ground troops, because that means the 4 martial arts experts that are Scarlet's family can do nothing but shoot at the planes. The air cavalry arrives, literally, as Wild Bill comes in to fight the Rattlers. Meanwhile, the thing that will make Nick Fury sue somebody is using grapplers to capture the transport. Knowing how competent Cobra usually is, the Joes run like hell. Spirit's grandfather ends up taking out the last Rattler.
And that's a weird sound effect for a laser.
And for a plane without a pilot, it flies perfectly up to the carrier and cuts one of the ropes. So the Baroness cuts her losses and the other ropes, causing the transport to fall, and things go boom. Of course, everybody ends up being okay, since this is still the G.I.Joe cartoon.
And so the day is saved.
Except it isn't, because the Baroness is a sore loser. Yeah, Lady J points out the stolen data has 7 Joes in it, while only 6 families were targeted. The last one, Gung Ho, has 137 relatives in Louisiana, and they fear the Baroness may go after them for revenge. And sure enough, she goes with a small strike force. A small strike force that's immediately taken out by said family. But of course she escapes after, some difficulty.
Mademoiselle, don't step on little Shoo-Shoo!
I wonder if in an alternate timeline, that guy ended up becoming Crocmaster. And so the Joes arrive, finding out the day is already saved.
Etienne, we've been expecting you for days.
How come everybody in his family has that French accent but Gung Ho doesn't? And that was Captives of Cobra Part 2. It had quite a few dumb bits in it, but the story overall was excellent, and the voice acting from the Joes whose relatives were in peril was excellent at conveying their emotions. And that image of Jesse ready to blow everybody up is haunting. Overall, the 2-parter was another really good one. It really does help when the writers have more time to tell a story. Still not as good as Worlds Without End though.
Well, I'll see you next time, everybody. And hey, why not like, share, and subscribe if that's your thing?
G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I.